welcome back to Life with Wards, where we talk all things marriage and military.
If you guys want to continue seeing more content, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes. How are you guys doing? It is Saturday. It's a beautiful day here in Arizona. How is your week going, babe?
It's good. It's going to be a short week next week. Gotta love those.
Oh, yeah. My week was a little heavy this week, to be quite honest. But hopefully next week is a lot lighter. So I'm looking forward to next week as well. So I'm ready for next week to come. Well, not yet. The weekend needs to stay here as long as possible,
Enjoy.
of course. But yeah. So guys, today we are actually going to be talking about the second part in our series. Did you want to tell them a little bit about what that consists of?
It's going to be going over 5 different topics in regards to your actual wedding ceremony.
Yes. That is a big part. Of course, it is the part of the wedding. Everything before the wedding, of course, comes together for this big moment. And we want this to be super special. We want it to be the best time ever, of course. So we just have like a good 5 things to talk about that we either would have done differently or...
Yeah, I think some do differently and some just like what we can take away and help somebody learn for their ceremony.
Yeah, and I feel like no wedding ceremony is perfect. There's always going to be something that didn't go according to plan or something like that. So we just want to go over a few things that we learned along the way. But before we do that, guys, you already know it's time for our woke quote. So guys, for today's woke quote, it reads, "It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes an unhappy marriage." That speaks volumes. I'll use the same phrase from last week. It speaks volumes. Babe, what does that quote mean for you?
First of all, I don't know where you keep finding these heavy hitters, but holy crap. I mean, isn't that the age-old saying, like, every marriage begins as a friendship, and you build upon it, and eventually you would be like, man, this is a good friend, and I can wake up every day to this friend.
Yeah. Now, I completely agree. I feel like friendship is the foundation. It really is. Like, there are times where Jeremy and we have this thing called best friend to best friend.
Yeah.
And what that means is when one of us says, hey, like best friend to best friend, it's like, I need my best friend right now, and I need you to come from a place of my best friend and not my wife or not my husband. And I know that might sound like, what the heck? Like, didn't you marry your best friend? Like, why do you guys have to separate everything? It's not necessarily that. We just want to make sure that when we're communicating with each other and we just strictly need our friend, that we have that. So that's why we have that little phrase called best friend to best friend. You guys are more than welcome to steal it. It's very handy. It's very like...
Yeah, I could ask my wife, hey, babe, how does this polo look on me? Oh, everything looks great. And it's like, all right. Best friend to best friend, how does it look on me? Man, you need to take that off and put it back.
Or more so, that's really the other way around. They'll say, how does this dress look? And he'll be like, awesome, babe. So, yeah, no, but honestly, I mean, of course, we don't lie to each other in our marriage.
Yeah.
But, like, there are just some things that... it's like, hey, there are some things that we want to focus on just as friends, not thinking about, the marital duties, just thinking about where we first started. And that will keep your marriage alive, and it will continue to remind you of how you got there and why you got there. So I would definitely try to spend today or, next weekend or whenever you guys have time, try to just spend some time together as friends. You are husband and wife, but you're also friends. And I know that sounds weird, but do stuff that friends do, without the responsibility of wife and husband, because it's going to fuel you, I promise. Don't you agree, babe?
Yeah, I think it's going to give you like a nice breath of fresh air maybe, or just like, man, I can step out of these duties for a little bit and just be with my best friend.
With my best friend. Yeah, I think sometimes we can get caught up in responsibilities and the title itself. Like, I feel like sometimes we you can get caught up in that, because those are some heavy titles. I mean, they're great titles, don't get me wrong, and I'm honored to have mine, as I'm sure, Jay, you're honored to have yours sometime. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, so that's what the quote means to us. Feel free to comment down below. Let us know what that quote means to you, because it is a pretty heavy one this week. Yeah, it is. So we're not going to take too much time. Let's go ahead and dive into our 5 things that we wish we knew or we want to give to you to know for your upcoming wedding. So, babe, what is number 1?
Location.
Where are you going to have your wedding? This is everything, right? Because you want to make sure that that place is memorable. I know that for us, we did want to have our wedding in a church, and we got married in COVID time. So our churches wouldn't take us in, and no other church.
Well, so we shouldn't say they wouldn't take us in at all. They were like, you can bring 100 people, not even.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we have 300 already, so.
Yeah, like it was, I mean, that's what, like, I know that's what my church said. So then I ventured out to other churches, and then they were just like, we're not taking any weddings. So, like, I got a little bit of both when I was communicating around to find out. So that was a really, like, it was a huge bummer because we love Jesus and we wanted to, you know, have his presence there, and, you know, both of our families have God in their lives as well, and, you know, we wanted to share that. But of course, me being me, I was not going to let that not happen. So we couldn't go to the church. I bring the church to us. So what we decided to do is we did our wedding on a nice pavilion area. It was under a pavilion, and you could see like the lake in the back, and it was very beautiful. And, you know, I brought the pastor to us. So, you know, I think it's important to think outside the box. If there's something you want and someone tells you you can't have it, don't just settle for that. Okay, you can have it. I ended up bringing the pastor to us because I was like, okay, we have like 300 people, you know, and heck, the church might not have even been big enough. You never know. And also with COVID, it was the perfect idea because, you know, people were able to spread out. I have elders in my family. Jeremy does as well, you know, and so, you know, it may be easier for them to get sick. So they were able to be comfortable, you know, with keeping their social distances as well. You know, if you do it like in a confined area, you know, you may not have that option. And that was one of the worries that, you know, a lot of, for especially for me, like a lot of the elders in my family did vocalize that. And I took it into consideration because those people meant everything and I wanted them to be there. So as for where, you know, obviously I can't tell you exactly where to have your wedding, but and I would say, like, for my girlies on a budget, it is a lot cheaper. For us, it was a lot cheaper to have it in a pavilion. I mean, depending on your church, you know, it may be cheaper that way, but it is a cheap option to reserve, you know, somewhere outside, like a pavilion or a nice lake or, you know, a bridge, who knows. But it is, and it's beautiful. The shots are great. Nice sunny day, you know. Yeah,
that is one factor. You do have to kind of live by the weather, but we had a nice summer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that was, I mean, I kid you not, I was like, what day is it? It's 3 days before. What is the weather? Does that look like rain? Is that rain? Is that rain? And it's like, no, it says sun. It says sun. But, like, you know, that is probably, like, your biggest fear is, like, rain on your wedding day, right? So if you're going to do an outside wedding, please choose a season, right, that is very bright, like summer. We did a summer wedding, right? So there was not like a ton of rain happening or anything like that. So, and don't choose a time where like seasons are switching. We're from Texas. We had our wedding in Texas. Usually when the seasons are switching, that's when you get a lot of rain coming in. So that's something to stay away from too. But as far as places, I would definitely, if you're someone on a budget, like I would definitely, and you have a ton of people and you're like, how am I going to fit all these people here? I would definitely consider doing something outdoors. But yeah, so that's where. Do you have any more comments about where?
No, that should conclude topic number 1.
Yeah, okay. Topic number 2. So number 2 is invitations. Did I say indentations? Invitations.
We gotta address the mess next week.
Yes, we gotta address the mess next week.
All right.
Invitations. So invitations are super important.
I mean, you can be very traditional with them, mail them out, which is very personable, especially if you add a little note per each invitation. For our people on the budget, electronics nowadays, they can be life-saving.
They are life-saving.
Cheap and quick.
Absolutely. I feel like I talk so much crap about technology, but then at the same time, I'm like, it's a lifesaver. For us, we did them digitally because there are I'm sorry, but there are a lot of benefits to doing your wedding invitations digitally, okay? Because when you do them like traditionally, I know that was like something I was exploring at first. You got to make the invitations. You got to make sure the font is right, whatever you want on there. You got to get everybody's address, and if you have like 300 plus people, that's a lot of invitations to send out. You got to pray, that the mailman is on time and they get there in a timely manner, and things like that. However, if you do them digitally, it's a lot cheaper because there are so many platforms and formats nowadays where you can like go in and create like, an invitation. And you can just like literally email it to someone or text it to them, right? And they get it right there. That's how we did ours. I sent them out in text message. You're able to click on it and you see the invitation. And it's quicker. The person receives it faster. And you're honestly able to get a faster response as if they'll be attending or not. And you're able to keep, a tally or, for your guest list. You're able to know exactly who's going and stuff. So I think digital invitations, they're awesome. I'll just say that. Yeah. Do you have anything about digital invitations? Any cons to digital invitations that you can think of?
The only con I could see is like, maybe there's people in your family that are just very traditional and maybe like, wow, this is either like considered lazy or anything like that, but whose wedding is it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I didn't really get any feedback like that. I think
not necessarily that I got feedback, but I'm just trying to play devil's
advocate. Yeah, maybe
it's always traditional.
Yeah,
and everything.
Yeah, and I know like my family is traditional too. But like you got to put your own spin. It's your wedding. Do it how you want to. And that's gonna go for every part. Do it how you want to. Don't it's your day. And they're not planning the wedding. You are, right? So. But yeah, I definitely am one for digital creations when it comes to invitations. The third one is who is going to marry you? This can be easy or this can be hard. For me, I wanted a specific, and that's the thing, like Jeremy is Catholic and I'm Christian. Very similar but different as well. But we did decide that we wanted a Christian marriage or a wedding. We just want a marriage that has God in it, bottom line.
That's all I want.
Yeah, so but I wanted my pastor to do it, but then like he had like other events, obligations and events coming up and stuff, and I did not realize how busy pastors are outside of like actually preaching the gospel. Like I kid you not, like I was just like, oh wow, okay. So first tip about who's gonna marry you. If you wanted to be your pastor or any religious personnel, please contact them like as soon as you can, because it is very possible that they are busy out the wazoo. Yep. So the faster you can pick that date, which is what we talked about in the last video, the faster you can go ahead and communicate with them of, wanting them to be able to marry you guys. But I know you guys are like, okay, so what did you do? You just didn't have your pastor? I didn't have my pastor, but I had a pastor, and he was awesome. He was amazing. And if you guys are located in Texas and you are like, I'm not really a part of a church or anything like that, and I need a pastor, drop a comment down below or reach out to me. I would love to give you his information. I still communicate with him to this day. And the most beautiful thing he told us is like, I'm not just here for today. I'm here for you guys' entire marriage. I'm here, not just it starts today, but I am here. And that meant everything. Yeah. So if you guys are looking for someone in a religious capacity, and you're Christian, or you don't mind having a Christian personnel, let me know. I'd be more than happy to put you in contact with him for sure. If you are not going the religious route and there is a different side for you, if you want a friend to marry you, or like a uncle, or someone like that, again, just same thing. Let them know ahead of time.
Yep.
It's, you can never be too early to let someone know something. The faster you can let those people that are playing those significant roles in your wedding know, the better and easier it is for you to probably get a yes. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. You have anything else for that one?
I mean, you pretty much covered it all.
I'm just hitting them.
I want to talk about something, but I can't.
Yeah, but that's okay. He's about to talk about the last 2 things. That's fine. I just gave you some responsibilities. Okay, what's number 4?
Photographer/videographer. Whichever one you want to choose, or both if the budget allows. Capture the day, capture the memories, capture the experience. Can't go wrong with it. But again, we had a single photographer, and I think we are now realizing that, man, it would have been nice to just have the whole thing as one big video. And of course, you can take pictures from the video, but just to...
And our photographer was amazing.
Yes.
I don't want to take away from that. He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was putting in work oh my gosh, we have so many photos from our wedding that, like, I'm so grateful. Like, and we even have some videos as well. Like, I don't see how he did it, but he got it done. But yeah, sorry.
I mean, that's the gist of it, is ensuring, obviously, it's somebody you trust that is going to capture the right moments and not just stand there and click a couple times. But
yeah, my biggest thing as well, and the only reason we say, like, try to get a videographer, because I mean, photos are great, right? But it's nothing like seeing it live in action, like actually happening, sitting on your first anniversary. Feel like, wow, did you see me right there? I'm like literally crying. But it's great to like really capture those moments. My father passed away. He passed away a year ago, and those videos I have of like our father-daughter dance, and him walking me down the aisle, they're priceless. Everything. They're priceless. And of course the photos are priceless as well, but like having, it in action, like, oh my gosh, like I'm so grateful for those videos that we do have. The other thing I would like to tell you guys about your photographer or videographer, make sure you have someone who is efficient. And what I mean by that is make sure that you get someone who's not going to take 8 to 12 months for you to receive your wedding photos and stuff. Our photographer was very efficient with, getting our photos and things to us. You guys want to make sure that you have someone who is efficient in that way. I've also seen it to where, like, there's a contract written up beforehand where they let you know, like, this is, the day of the wedding. This is what I'll be, taking pictures of or videoing. And this is when you'll receive, your copies and whatnot. So, and definitely explore the ways you want to receive the copies, because that's another thing. Like, do you want to receive them digitally? Do you want them in the book? And they'll go over all of that with you. But yeah, that's another like really big thing. Make sure you establish when you'll receive your photos and things from your wedding. Like, definitely. So yeah, that's number 4. You got number 5 too.
I mean, the last one is the most important.
It's very important.
Enjoy the moment.
Yes, guys. Enjoy the moment.
Don't get caught up in, oh my gosh, Trevor didn't walk at his time and now everybody's delayed.
He's Trevor.
No. But just seriously though, just when it starts, just be in the moment, be there for your wedding, not
trying to be wedding coordinator.
But yeah, just enjoy it. Don't get caught up in the minor details of, oh, this has to go here, this has to be perfect. It's gonna start. Just go with the flow and enjoy it.
Yeah. No.
You only get one.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean,
ideally.
Oh.
Sorry. Whoopsie.
For this case, you only get one. If we're just gonna speak over that, you get one. Yeah. You get one. Oh my gosh. I second that. Don't be a bridezilla. It is hard, when you have worked so hard to put it all together, right? Yeah. And, you're like, I want all of these things to go this way, and everything. And then, you're in that moment, you're like, this is showtime, right? Everything has to go. But for my brides, whenever that music is cued, whenever it's your time to walk down that aisle, I want you to let all that go. Just go marry your husband, and everything will fall in place. What will be, and what won't. And it's not like we get any redos. It's not like we can fix it. It's not like we can change it. So just enjoy the moment.
Let go.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
And just enjoy it, It was so funny because, I was very is this happening? Is this happening? Really, I really wasn't. I mean, I was really hanging in the car with my dad until it was time. And then he's like, are you sure you want to do this before I take off? Are you sure? Runaway bride. But I was like, yeah, Dad, let's go. And I think, for me, everything finally hit me when we were walking down the aisle. So I probably have, the ugliest walking down the aisle photos, I kid you not, and I'm glad that our photographer didn't get that on camera, video wise. But oh my gosh, that's another tip I would tell you, ladies. It's okay to cry, but please don't be like me and do the ugly cry, because oh my gosh, it
wasn't that bad.
It was bad. I mean, oh my gosh, I have some messed up photos of me walking down the aisle and it's not even my photographer's fault, because I was crying the entire way down. So there was no shot that he could get me yay, no, I was crying the whole way. So that's another tip, ladies. You probably will cry. Try to make it a pretty cry. Don't make it an ugly gut cry, because oh my gosh, that is one thing I would probably never be able to change. I'd probably cry again, but it is something that I would have hoped to do better.
We had to get you a tissue.
Yeah. We're at the altar, and my husband's like, stop crying. He's literally having to wipe my face, and he's like, stop crying, oh my gosh. But yeah, no, do you have any more tips about how to enjoy this moment?
I mean, it's there's so many, but it's just
let go and fly.
Proper planning, and then once it starts, just
it's
be
go
there
time.
for your significant other and enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, no, that's very important. I completely agree, because what will be, like I said, will be. Yeah. So guys, that is all we have.
Part 2
for this video. This is part 2. If you guys haven't watched, go ahead and watch part 1. We did that one last Saturday, so this is part 2. There's one more part to this series, which will be next Saturday. Oh, that's another thing. We forgot to tell you guys. We originally started shooting our videos on Fridays, but they will actually be coming out on Saturdays now. That's probably important.
Yeah, just a little bit, maybe.
Just a little bit, baby. Yeah, the videos will come out on Saturdays from now on, just because of our conflicting schedule and whatnot. So you guys will see us next Saturday. We hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye guys.